Hello everyone, and welcome to Celebrial, the channel where we dive into the stories Hollywood hopes you never hear. Before we start, subscribe, like, and stay tuned. Big story ahead. Today's topic is one of the most shocking mysteries to hit Black Hollywood in years.
Who really brought, realness to television, playing a great character, playing a great son on the Cosby.
When news broke that Malcolm-Jamal Warner had suddenly passed away, the entire industry froze. What first looked like a heartbreaking tragedy quickly twisted into something far darker.
Right now, it's a moment of extreme gratitude. There are people showing up for me in a way that makes me a little emotional. And I don't need to talk about, what the thing is, but people are showing up for me. And not that I should be surprised, because these particular people would be people who would show up for me, because that's just the kind of people they are. But it still doesn't negate the gratitude, whatever emotions it brings up, being touched in my heart and my soul. It's just really cool. And it makes me think about, maybe wants me to share, be a good person, right? Be good to others, be of service, do good for other people.
A bone-chilling conspiracy that's been gaining momentum ever since. The whispers started quietly, until Ice Cube stepped forward and dropped bombshell claims that shook Hollywood to its core. Malcolm, the beloved star who grew up as Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, suddenly found himself at the center of a dangerous story, one that points straight at the industry's darkest corners and directly at Bill Cosby himself.
Jeff, how are you feeling about it?
Great. I'm happy we got through it. Like, for 5 years, I want a series. And you never think it's gonna hit number one. I mean, we soared straight to the top, and to be number one consistently, to be in the top 5 consistently, that's great. And I'm glad we got through the first year.
How long do you hope this goes on?
For a long time. Until the audience stops laughing. And with Bill Cosby, I doubt they ever stop laughing.
What about for you? What has he taught you?
Oh, wow. There's nothing I can say specifically. There are things that he's helped me with, throughout the whole year. If it has something to do with the script, if I have personal problems or whatever, it's variations of things. And I'm very grateful.
And what about this party? Seems like a pretty good celebration.
Yes, we're celebrating for another year.
According to Ice Cube, Malcolm's death wasn't random at all. He says it was a calculated hit designed to silence him before he exposed the truth. And Cube isn't just throwing accusations. He claims he has receipts, leaked conversations, industry whispers, unsettling timelines, and talk of video evidence. The wildest part? Cube says Malcolm had been working on a tell-all memoir that would have blown the lid off decades of hidden scandals. Not just Cosby's infamous double life, but an entire network of cover-ups, manipulation, and powerful industry players protecting each other behind the scenes. Rumor has it Malcolm had documents, emails, recordings, and even a list of executives who allegedly shielded Cosby for years, and that he was finally ready to speak. And here's where things get even darker. Malcolm's own mother is convinced her son's death was no accident. She's been telling people he was taken out right as he was preparing to expose everything. Ice Cube backs that up, saying Malcolm's final days were tense and full of red flags. Late-night calls, whispered conversations, and Malcolm sounding shaken, like he knew something was closing in on him. He told Cube he felt watched everywhere he went, followed, maybe even threatened. And according to Cube, Malcolm said it straight. "They're trying to shut me up now." Not long after that, he was gone. Just like that. And then the weirdest thing happened. The media went completely silent. No major investigation, no public autopsy, no press conference, no real coverage at all. Just a wall of silence. The kind that makes you wonder if someone wanted this to disappear fast. Ice Cube wasn't buying it, and neither were fans. Social media exploded with hashtags like #JusticeForMalcolm and #CubeToldTheTruth, and the movement is growing louder by the day. Cube claims Cosby wasn't just a smiling sitcom legend, he was a behind-the-scenes power player, a shadow king who controlled narratives, buried evidence, and shut down anyone who stepped out of line. And when Malcolm started pulling away, refusing late-night meetings, rejecting shady offers, and refusing to play the game, things went left fast. After Malcolm pulled away from Cosby, everything shifted. Suddenly, he was blacklisted, cut out of projects, and, according to insiders, living in constant fear. That's when whispers started spreading that Malcolm wasn't just writing a memoir, he was secretly building a full documentary that would expose Cosby's hidden world, Hollywood's racial politics, and the shadow bosses who run everything in the dark. Insiders even mention a so-called Hollywood fixer, a powerful middleman linked to corporate elites and the industry's underground side, whose alleged job was simple: keep Malcolm silent. Permanently sounds like a movie script, right? But when you look at how strangely everything unfolded, it starts feeling way too real. People close to Malcolm say that in his final months, he basically became a ghost. He dodged calls, stopped showing up anywhere, and acted suspicious even around longtime friends, like he knew something dangerous was closing in. But the detail that shocked fans the most? Bill Cosby said absolutely nothing when Malcolm died. No tribute, no condolences, no public comment, just total eerie silence. And Ice Cube says that silence screams guilt. In a leaked conversation, Cube even claims someone inside Cosby's circle referred to Malcolm as a problem that needed to be handled before he talked. That tape hasn't surfaced yet, but if it ever does, Hollywood won't know what hit it. Meanwhile, Ice Cube is catching heat himself. Strange cars near his home, anonymous messages telling him to back off, and threats that feel straight out of a mob movie. Ice Cube says the threat started as soon as he spoke out. Strange cars parked near his house, anonymous emails telling him to drop it, and shadowy warnings that felt straight out of a mob movie. But Cube isn't backing down. Word is, he's quietly gathering evidence for his own documentary, aiming to prove Malcolm's death was not an accident, but part of a much bigger cover-up. Here's where it gets wild. Malcolm was connected to several nonprofits before he died, and Cube's sources claim some of them were actually hush money funnels used to bury scandals and protect powerful men when their secrets started leaking. And insiders say Cosby, desperate to protect whatever was left of his reputation, saw Malcolm as a serious threat. One more bombshell, especially from someone as respected as Malcolm, could have destroyed him completely. That's why, according to these whispers, Malcolm couldn't be allowed to speak. Cube hasn't dropped all his receipts yet, but the clues, the pressure around him, and the eerie silence from mainstream media point to something massive brewing underneath the surface. If even a fraction of what Cube is saying is true, this wouldn't just ruin Cosby's legacy, it would expose a whole system built on race, power, hush money, and silencing anyone brave enough to tell the truth. Mainstream media may be silent, but Ice Cube isn't going anywhere. He's built his whole career on telling uncomfortable truths, and he's making it clear no one is shutting him up. And the deeper people look into Malcolm's final days, the more the accident story falls apart. At this point, it's starting to feel less like rumor and more like reality. For many, the idea that America's beloved TV dad might have been protecting a legacy built on fear and buried secrets is hitting hard. And now that Cube cracked the door open, there's no closing it. More people connected to Malcolm are stepping forward, and what they're saying is disturbing. Malcolm's mother, Pamela Warner, stayed quiet at first. But sources close to her say she now believes her son's death was not a random tragedy. She's reportedly told people Malcolm had become paranoid before he died, convinced he was being followed, watched, even tracked. Friends say he stopped going to his usual spots, changed cars constantly, and backed out of events at the last minute like he sensed danger closing in. And that fear didn't come from nowhere. More and more people believe it was tied to Malcolm's plan to drop a memoir exposing some of Hollywood's most powerful men. And no, it wasn't just Cosby. Sources say the manuscript was over 300 pages long, packed with explosive details about exploitation, racism, secret payoffs, and under-the-table deals the public was never supposed to see. Malcolm wasn't relying on old memories. He had years of journals, broken NDAs, and even sworn testimonies from people too afraid to speak publicly. His project had a title too, Hiding in Plain View, a name meant to expose how these secrets were sitting right in front of us, hidden behind Hollywood smiles. His wife, who has stayed completely private, understood the danger. Sources say she begged Malcolm not to release the book without serious legal protection. She feared the moment he went public, he'd be marked as a target. And according to one insider, Malcolm told her directly, "If something happens to me, they'll say it was an accident. Don't believe it." That line now haunts everyone close to him. The official story claims he drowned in Costa Rica after being caught in a riptide, but witnesses say they saw Malcolm in a heated argument with a man on the beach just hours before he died. No police report mentions it. No suspects, no follow-up, just silence. And then the most disturbing part. Malcolm's body was cremated less than 24 hours after it was found. Reportedly without his mother or wife's consent, many believe crucial evidence was destroyed forever. It only gets stranger. Hiding in Plain View, the memoir everyone swears was real, has vanished without a trace. The memoir everyone close to Malcolm swears was real has completely vanished. Not a single page was found. His laptop disappeared before his belongings were returned, emails to his publisher were wiped, and even the backup drives he kept in a secure deposit box suddenly became unavailable. It was like the entire project was erased in one coordinated sweep. But Malcolm's inner circle isn't backing down. They insist the book existed. They saw drafts, read chapters, and had deep conversations with him about the secrets he planned to expose. One anonymous source even revealed the supposed opening line. "If you are reading this, then I didn't make it to the end." That sentence alone has the internet frozen. Ice Cube is still swinging. He recently claimed Malcolm personally reached out to him to help turn the memoir into a documentary, and warned that no major network would ever allow it to air. Malcolm reportedly said, "We have to do this ourselves." The plan was bold. Drop it on YouTube, run underground screenings, and let word of mouth burn through Hollywood. A truth bomb no one could censor. Now that missing footage has become the holy grail of the entire mystery. Cube has even hired a private cybersecurity team to track down any digital fingerprints Malcolm left behind. And he's not alone anymore. Other Hollywood names are quietly beginning to break their silence. Right after Malcolm's death, Jaleel White, yes, Steve Urkel, posted a cryptic message. "Not everything you're told is the whole truth." The post vanished within minutes, but screenshots spread everywhere, and he wasn't alone. Debbie Allen and Tempest Bledsoe have also dropped subtle hints about heavy pressure behind the scenes. Not direct accusations, but their silence feels loud, like they're scared to say too much. Why aren't more people speaking up? Insiders say it's simple. Fear. Fear of lawsuits, fear of losing million-dollar deals, fear of being blacklisted by the same machine Malcolm was trying to expose. But even with that fear, cracks are forming. Quietly, more people are admitting they don't believe Malcolm's death was a random accident. One chilling account came from an anonymous Netflix executive who worked with Malcolm. He said Malcolm once told him, "There are powerful men who will do anything to stay in control. If I go down, at least I'm telling the truth." That quote is now everywhere. Podcasts, blogs, indie news, and it's fueling the fire. The truth is buried under layers of silence, secrets, and intimidation. But Malcolm's circle, his mother, his wife, his closest friends, and Ice Cube refuse to let this go cold. They're connecting the dots, following every breadcrumb Malcolm left behind, and preparing to drag whatever darkness touched his final days into the light. The official story hasn't shifted an inch. But if even a fraction of the whispers are real, this wasn't just the death of a beloved actor. It was the silencing of a man ready to expose everything. And if the wrong people really thought ending Malcolm would end the story, they made a massive mistake. One thing is clear, this story is nowhere near over. Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death has moved far beyond personal tragedy. It's becoming a symbol in Black Hollywood, where speaking out has always carried a dangerous price. Those closest to him believe he wasn't just writing a memoir. He was building a movement, one meant to protect young Black creatives and expose the exploitation too many have suffered in silence. And now that silence is screaming. Ice Cube is still pushing for answers, and more voices are joining him every day. But what really set the streets buzzing again is a deleted podcast episode, Malcolm's final recording, which resurfaced out of nowhere. It was taped just 48 hours before his death, titled, "When They Won't Let You Speak." It disappeared instantly from every platform, but anonymous sources leaked it, and the audio is chilling. Malcolm's voice sounds slow, tired, like a man carrying something unbearable. He talks about betrayal, broken trust, and exhaustion. Tired of being polite, tired of pretending, tired of staying quiet. What happens next could flip this entire mystery on its head. While the world waits, fans are rewatching interviews, revisiting his projects, dissecting his words, searching for clues in a story that refuses to fade away. Now people are finally realizing Malcolm had been dropping warnings for years. Through his poetry, his spoken word, even his interviews, he'd been calling out racism, mental health struggles, and the darker machinery of Hollywood long before anyone connected the dots. He'd been trying to wake people up. But most only listened after he was gone. Critics are now asking, why have the major media outlets stayed almost completely silent? No investigations, no deep dives, just a few polite obituaries. Some say that silence protects the same powerful system Malcolm was trying to expose. Others think the media ignored it because Malcolm never chased scandals or drama, making him less profitable for headlines. But those who truly knew him say he preferred it that way. He wasn't playing the fame game, he was playing the long game. And now, his voice is louder than ever. Behind the scenes, Hollywood veterans are reportedly meeting in private, considering an independent investigation. No studios, no networks, no law enforcement. Just private investigators and legal experts who might finally uncover what really happened. Ice Cube is even rumored to be ready to bankroll it, with anonymous donors quietly stepping in to help. Then Malcolm's mother broke her silence, saying through a family rep, Malcolm lived with purpose and left with unfinished business. That one line hit the world hard. Fans who grew up watching him as Theo now see him as something bigger. A fighter, a truth teller, a man who refused to back down even when the stakes were sky high. And the fight continues. His final podcast, The Missing Memoir, The Whispers of Secrets Too Dangerous to Name. This isn't just a story from the past. It's a puzzle millions are still trying to piece together. Whether the full truth comes out tomorrow or 10 years from now, one thing is certain. Malcolm's voice didn't fade, it got louder. He didn't just talk about survival, he lived it, turning his truth into resistance. If anyone thought erasing him would end the story, they were wrong. This isn't the end of Malcolm-Jamal Warner's legacy, this is only the beginning. So if this hit you, if you believe there's more to this story, don't let it disappear. Hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dive investigations, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay loud.